All right, yes, people, we are live. Welcome to another episode of MUGA, Make United Great Again. And right now, we're living up to the pod's name. Making up the MUGA Mafia today, we've got the contingent, as you can see. First and foremost, we've got Seb. What's going on, Seb? And as I said that, Seb left the room. Timing is off. All right, let's move swiftly to Dissy. What's going on, my guy?
Yeah, not bad. What are you saying?
We out here, man. We're feeling great again, man. We're feeling great. Donald Trump left the White House, and now we're taking his spot, man. Top of the table. Aka, what you saying, my guy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Another week, another win.
2 wins. We had 2 wins this week,
yeah,
man. Yeah, you man are acting like Fulham on a football team.
I was referring to Fulham.
Hey, I like that. And Stevie, last but not least, what's going on, my guy?
Yeah, I'm good. You're catching me trying to post the link on Twitter as well, so I'm a struggle to multitask right now, but I'm blessed.
That's why I came to you last. I knew I was thinking of you.
I wasn't that quick, man.
So just before we get into the main bits of the pod, our Discord community, I should say, continues to grow. So every game United play, we're there, and also the other teams are part of the Touchline Frackers family. Check us on there, engage with us as you watch the games. Let's get straight into it, man. The last 7 days, 2 wins from 2. We will respect Liverpool at the football club. We did beat them. The 3-2 win yesterday at Old Trafford. First and foremost, Disu, what did you think about yesterday's performance?
Some parts good, some parts not so good. At the beginning, it was a bit shaky. Liverpool's press was caught out Pogba a couple of times, it caught out McTominay a couple of times, caught out. It was catching out everybody really. So they're pinching the ball off us. We struggled to play out from the back against any team that has any sort of good pressing strategy. So that was dangerous for us. And but Liverpool didn't look too dangerous. Then we gave away a really, really bad goal. Obviously, good pass for Firmino, good run, great first touch from Salah. Like the first touch was sick, and he dinked it over Henderson, who had no chance. But then we just kind of woke up. So it's kind of like we have to spot teams a quick goal. Do you know what I mean? And we wake up, and it was on a transition. Unbelievable pass from Rashford. Absolutely unbelievable pass. Like I don't think we understand how difficult that pass is. Like he didn't have like much backlift or time to really line it up. And just I can't remember who was the guy who was trying to cover. Just was over his head, and then obviously murder Mace with a fantastic finish. And then, but I thought that we looked more dangerous than Liverpool, even though they got the first goal. I think Mason had 2 decent opportunities. We had quite a few counter-attack opportunities, whereas like only Rashford seemed to be the one who's making the right decision in the transition. Like Cavani made a couple of bad decisions. There's one when Van der Beek looked like he was scared to dribble. And there's one where
you're on the right wing. Yeah.
Hit, when there was a decent save from Alisson, people said it was difficult for a cutback. No, it wasn't. Mason could have cut the ball back to Van der Beek from early. And there was another one where I think when Mason was doing a gazillion stepovers, he could have cut it back to Cavani, I think, as well. So we weren't really very efficient in the final third. Start of second half, Liverpool were onto us heavy. Heavy. They got the goal. They had a couple of chances to take the 3-2 lead after Rashford again, brilliant finish. But yeah, in terms of the game, I didn't agree with Ollie's changes, and I think Ollie's changes made things worse. But Mr. Inevitable.
What ones in particular did you agree with?
So first things first, taking off Greenwood, I thought was crazy. I thought Greenwood was a threat all game, along with Rashford, so that didn't make sense to me. And who did he take off? He took off Greenwood and Van der Beek. I thought Van der Beek was doing all right. I think he was doing pretty well. Obviously, Bruno came on and scored a fantastic free kick, so it kind of made up for it. But when Bruno came on, he was shocking. But it was just on brand, innit? Terrible everything apart from like he's actually so. I actually hate the way he plays football, but his shooting technique is outrageous. Like his ability to strike the ball. It's never really like a terrible strike when Bruno's hitting it. It's always
clean.
Yeah. And he did also create like a very good chance for Cavani for a brilliant cross. So yeah, I think United were good value for the win in the end. I think I wasn't entirely impressed or entirely disheartened by anybody's performance. No, okay, McTominay, he was absolutely shocking. In fact, no, the defense, the centre backs were terrible, but the fullbacks were really good. Like Wan-Bissaka was very good. Luke Shaw has my man Salah on absolute ropes 1v1. He can't beat him 1v1. And what Salah's really good at putting his arms right back to goal, getting the ball, laying it off, or rolling people. That was not working on Luke Shaw. Maybe because Luke Shaw's used to bacon rolls, I don't know. But that was not working on him whatsoever. And I thought the midfield was terrible. For Pogba, towards the end of the game, Pogba played all right, but defensively was good. But Tomley is just not a footballer. Fred came on, and Fred was just diabolical since he came on. That's why I didn't like the change. It was mainly the Fred thing. But good win, I guess. Knock out Liverpool. It's nice. It was just nice to see Liverpool fans upset and fully in danger. Hopefully,
go on.
My main takeaway is hopefully Mason can build from this. That's my main takeaway. Hopefully Mason can build from this and go on to start scoring more goals and playing more minutes, because I think he does give us an extra dimension in attack, with the fact that he could go both ways when he's on it, and his finishing is just so good.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? He was one of the sort of stars of the team last year, surprise packages of the team last year. But this year, he's been a bit in and out of the team, would you say? But he took his goal very well. Aka, what did you make of Mason Greenwood's performance yesterday and his goal?
The finish was typical Mason, murder Mace, in on goal and against a good keeper, just left him standing on the spot, buried it. His overall game was slightly better. There was times where I think he's still learning in the trade. So, like Disu said, he should have released Cavani one time. He should have released Van der Beek. But he's picking that up slowly. I just hope he pushes on. Like this time last year, he didn't have much more goals. I don't think he had about 8-9 this time last year. And then obviously lockdown happened. He put a bit of size on, and he came back a different player. And he was banging the goals in. So hopefully we can see that side to him this second half of the season. It was always going to be a tough second year for Mason Greenwood, because people didn't know about him last year. Now everyone knows about him. He's a star boy. People are marking him better. He's feeling the physicality of the league and the games more. So it's going to be a tough second season for him. But I think he might just get through. If he's got 4 goals, I think. If he gets through, hopefully, to 15 goals, I'm happy with that. That's a good second season. He can keep developing his game, pushing on. Yesterday, I thought was one of his better games. He wasn't as anonymous as he was against Fulham. It was nice to see him start back-to-back games. I think Ole's done the thing where he takes him out after one game. But it does show that that's another factor as well. He doesn't play like regular games. And when he did it after lockdown, that's when he scored his most goals. So hopefully he gets a run in the team and he boosts his numbers. But yeah, encouraging yesterday.
It was a very good finish by him. It was also a very good finish by Marcus Rashford. It was nice to see them set each other up, wasn't it? Almost identical sort of crosses across the pitch. Stevie, what did you make of Marcus Rashford yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday the boy was on fire, man. He has been, I guess it's between him and Bruno, but our most consistent and our most valuable performer this season. The guys, he keeps taking it up a notch, slowly but surely. And this guy has just gone from strength to strength. And I'm not gonna lie, when he first broke into the team when he was 17, I'm not sure I saw him get into this level, and it's amazing to see, to be honest. The guy's added so many facets to his game, and you see in that assist, like he's been pinging balls for a while now, and is an absolute belter of an assist, as Dissy was saying. And then that finish was what I like to see from him, assured, because he did have a bit of time to sort of pick his spot, and sometimes he can get that wrong. But it was a nice assured finish, and there's a guy playing with confidence at the minute. Obviously, he got subbed off at the end, and it looked like he might be out for a little bit, because I think Ollie was saying he's got a knee injury, so he's going to get a scan today. But we desperately need him in the team as much as possible. And to be honest, I'm glad he got a bit of a rest at Fulham, because we've been playing him for almost every game now. But it just shows how important he is to this side, and how good his form has been this season. So yeah, kudos to the boy, man, doing the business on and off the pitch, man.
Yeah, he's definitely improving in his game. Like that assist it's almost an appreciation of the pass. He's put it on a plate how he would like it. And I do agree with what you're saying, because normally I would say Rashford, when it comes to his finishing, when he has time, he's not always as sharp as when he has to score it under pressure. But yesterday, as you say, that side foot finish just past Alisson, like he wasn't there, was very good. A man who scored against Fulham but didn't get a chance to score yesterday, who had a more sort of disciplined performance, was Paul Pogba. He was BBC's man of the match. This year, I saw you're tweeting you're usually a big fan of Paul Pogba, but you weren't too impressed with his performance yesterday. Do you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I thought defensively he was really good, and then obviously in certain scenarios he was getting pressed pretty much for the whole game by Liverpool very aggressively. And at first he was getting caught out, and I could just tell even by his passing he looked really leggy. So I really hope that he gets a rest this Wednesday we play Sheffield United. But then after the game he started to get better in possession and stuff. But I just don't think that's a performance to give somebody the man of the match for, especially when Rashford is literally causing absolute mayhem. Like
that was bizarre. It was bizarre.
Rashford had little Fizz out here breakdancing non-stop throughout the game. Got a goal, got in the fist.
Little Fizz.
I mean, like absolutely terrorized Liverpool, one man up. And everything good that United did came through Rashford. Paul Pogba got a man of the match performance because, oh my God, we realized Paul Pogba can defend. No, like that's not. I'm not the biggest when it comes to impact on games. We're able to win your duels. Obviously, he did well and keep the ball. That's not enough to win football games. Pogba, even though I think he's our best player, like I don't think he's even close. He's our best player. I don't think he played to his normal standard. That's like a bottom third Pogba performance. In terms of impact on the game, we used to see Pogba driving past a couple man, clever passes in our final third, switches of play, creating chances. I don't think he created a chance yesterday. And I can't remember, even when Pogba's having disaster classes, he creates chances. So I'm not saying it's a bad performance. Then okay, I'll give him maybe 6 out of 10. I think 7's even a stretch, but for me, if you're a midfielder, you have to have influence on the ball in the game. I don't think he had anywhere near the level of an average Paul Pogba game influence. So I was surprised he got man of the match. That's crazy to me. Personally.
Yeah, same. But if I look at him compared to all the midfielders, he was probably the best. That's not testament. That's not testament to him, but it just allows me to navigate into this Donny van de Beek section that I've been waiting for a few months now.
Speak on it, brother.
Bro, we've been calling for this guy to play. We've been begging for him to be in the team, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, when he's come into the team, this guy has looked so anonymous. Like it's been crazy, and I know I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything, and I know you've got to adjust. But right now, we can clearly see why Ole's not playing him in the league because he's not making a difference at all. To be honest, if his name was Cleverly, I wouldn't be surprised right now with the impact he's having on our team. That first half yesterday, the guy was anonymous. I think I saw him once, and that was when he was celebrating with with our team.
He passed it to Rashford. It was his thinking. He passed it to Rashford, who then put the cross in for Mason, right?
I think the thing with Van der Beek is his style of play is he's very much a pass and move guy. And him finding clever spaces, he's a very intelligent footballer. And that just simply doesn't suit Manchester United style of play because we are not intelligent enough as a football team to play that way. So if he was playing for Pep, he'll be doing. I'm not sure if you lot saw Thiago getting quick on Nigeria on Twitter and all the different things they're saying about him. I go touch him, you go touch him type football. That's the type of play he does. He's like one touch, pass and move. Then eventually I'll exploit the space. Whereas United, the way United are built, we don't combine in short distances that much, apart from sometimes in the final third, Rashford, Pogba, Martial do a little one-touch thing, or sometimes Shaw's involved. But we're usually long bursts, big passes, transition play, somebody does something mad. So United, in the way we compose, we need people who have high individualistic qualities. So Bruno has a lot of individual qualities. He might just think, fuck it, I'm just going to bang it from 30 yards, or I'm going to smack in a free kick, or I'm going to do this crazy cross to the back post to Cavani. Martial, maybe Martial 2019, 2020, I might run past a couple man, do 1-2 with Rashford and score. Rashford, we've seen him skipping past man. Pogba, we've seen him skipping past people or scoring long shots or playing long passes. Van der Beek's game is nowhere near as individualistic as our main players right now, and that's why he stands out like a sore thumb. I don't think it means he's a bad player. I just think it's a bad fit for Manchester United as of now, unless we're gonna start changing how we play. Like I said, that I would rather us spend that money. We could spend that money on Eze and got change. Literally, could spend the same amount of money. Okay, let's say they pay 16 million. We'll probably have to pay 10 million more because we're Man United. 25 million, 15 million change, or put some money on top of that and get Partey. But I just think Van der Beek is just. I think my boy said this in the group chat on shout, and he said United would have been better off getting Partey, and Arsenal would have been better off getting Van der Beek because Arsenal want creativity. We need that midfield still. So I hear what Stevie's saying, but I don't think is completely and utterly down to him because that's just how he plays football. You can't buy a man and expect him to do something that he's not meant to be doing. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Just makes sense.
That's facts. But then again, are we as a team getting the best out of him? Because as you rightly say, he's a triangles man. He played football in triangles. That's the Ajax way. It's about sort of not tiki taka, but almost in that sort of mold of football where, as you say, we expect Rashford to do something, or Bruno or Pogba to score a screamer. So, and we can't expect a man that's out in the cold to then come and make it happen the first game he comes back. That's what I used to kind of do to Juan Mata. Mata won't be in the team. Then he comes on, then I'm expecting him to be slinging balls to the wing, then coming on the end of crosses, crossing it in, scoring. You can't put too much pressure on him. He came into a big game, and I thought he did okay. He wasn't central figure, but he did okay. And he's a better ball retention player than Bruno, because we know Bruno. And I'm going to take some credit right now, because last week on this pod, I said we need to rest Bruno and not start him against the top six. Maybe it was a cup game. Maybe Oli is listening into us. But you see what happens. You don't start Bruno. He comes on. When we need to expand the game more, he gets a goal on it. So
I don't know if I'm going to give you full credit for that one, Michael, because I don't think you wanted him on in the 90 minutes at all.
No, I didn't want him to start.
I might give you a half point for that one.
Nah, come off it. Really, go back to last week. I said, don't start this man. Bring him on to expand the pitch. But Bruno took his goal very well, as Bruno sort of does. So we're giving Pogba a 6. What did you guys think about Luke Shaw's performance? Because obviously last week against at Anfield, he padlocked Salah. Salah didn't have a sniff. And then this time, his man scored 2 goals, but one-on-ones, he wasn't really taking him on. Aka, what did you think about Luke Shaw's performance?
For me, it was decent. It wasn't as good as last week because Salah got in behind a few times, and also he was doing that thing that he used to do where he tucks in too much. So the right winger has a lot of space. He wasn't atrocious. He was decent, and like you said, one-on-one, he doesn't get beat. He tries to join the attack when he can. He's become very good on the ball, very reliable. He can hold the ball, rotate it to the next teammate. So it wasn't a bad performance, but I thought last week he was just that good. The bar was that high last week that the come down was inevitable this week, but it wasn't disastrous. But Salah did score 2 goals at the end of the day, and Salah should have got a third as well, and that was like Shaw's fault. You could see it from a mile off. I was saying he's running in behind you, and Shaw was just too slow to get there, and thankfully Henderson bailed him out. But Shaw's been doing a lot of good stuff. I think he might need a rest. We're talking about players getting into red zones. Pogba, Shaw, these guys need a rest. So it's time for people like Telles and Van der Beek to come in. With Van der Beek, it's hard. Like I know what Stevie's saying, that obviously he's not looked his usual Ajax self, but he plays one game like every 4 weeks. And you've seen what consistent game time can do. Pogba 2 months ago wasn't getting consistent game time, and people were slaughtering him. Lo and behold, Pogba's played 2 months straight, and he's undroppable now, Pogba. He's the first name on the team sheet. I mean, I remember I had an argument with Disu saying that Pogba can't start these type of games, but he's shown that he can.
Now you're here. Hey,
I'm taking
How can you sell yourself down like that?
I was in the group chat. I swear to God, if I had a gun, I would have shot Aka and I would have shot Seb. Like, I couldn't be. They were advocated for McTom and Fred to be playing actual football games outside of training. And they're saying, Paul LaBille Pogba, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All the accolades, yeah? World Cup midfielder. Obviously, the heat apparently is too much for him to play against Liverpool, but the heat is not too much for fucking McTominay and Fred to play centre mid. Oh, my God. I couldn't. I was so angry. I couldn't
It's not that. With Pogba, if you look at him now, I think the reason why he got man of the match yesterday, it was sort of like a Jordan Henderson appreciation. So you know how he won PFA when he shouldn't have even been in the list? It was one of them ones. BBC thought, we've got a live match here. We finally got United Liverpool on. Let's appreciate Pogba's efforts in the last 2 months. So they gave him man of the match for that reason. It was a Paul Pogba appreciation award.
Yeah,
He's been in the last 2 months. And Pogba's he's played multiple positions in the last 2 months, and he's shown a level of maturity that we haven't seen for a while from Pogba at Man United, and it shows Pogba is at his best when the lights are at the brightest. We're top of the table. We're playing Liverpool in the FA Cup. The lights are firmly on Man United, and it's no surprise Paul Pogba's thriving. In the World Cup, he did the same thing. The lights were on France and Pogba. Lo and behold, he was one of the best players in the tournament. When the lights are at the brightest, that's when Pogba's at his best. And right now, Pogba's at his best. And I have to say, like, I'm not his biggest fan, but I do know he's an amazing talent. And like Disu said, he is the best player in the team on his day. And what I really liked about his performances recently is he's playing centre mid, number 10, left, right. He's everywhere. Ole's putting him in every hole he can fit him into. And Pogba's thriving in every position, and he's making a difference at both sides of the pitch. So, I hold my hand up. Pogba is now, in the big games, and I think this will help us in the big games because Pogba will start getting picked now because he's shown the performances that he can do it, and he is reliable, and he's an experienced player. Paul Pogba, for me, is the captain of the team. I know he would have been captain if he didn't have this issue with the agents and all. You're telling me Harry Maguire is captain ahead of Pogba? Come on, man. Pogba is the leader of the team. He's the captain. He's admired in the dressing room. He's respected, and he's going to give us a big 6 months. And you're going to see us do better in big games like you saw yesterday because Pogba will be starting these games and not coming off the bench and not playing out of position. And when Pogba does that, we're going to be better in the big games in the second half of the season.
Yeah, but you should have known all this before when you advocated for McTominay. I'm not letting
you have to see it though. This week.
I come in to plead guilty, yeah, and he said, "Just give me a light sentence." He was like, "Nah, throw the book."
I get a third of my sentence for pleading guilty.
Nah. Right about McTominay, yeah. But McTominay is not even a footballer. That's the number one thing. And when people ask me, what do you mean he's not a footballer? Watch the positions he takes up when United have the ball. If next man game watch the difference between him and Pogba or him and Matic or sometimes Fred, but Fred got shook in the Liverpool game. He usually doesn't. When Maguire and Lindelof get the ball, McTominay will just stand behind somebody so you don't get the ball because he's not confident in his ability to get the ball. And often when he gets it, he doesn't really go forward. Whereas Pogba, he's literally going from horizontally across the pitch, trying to give an angle to get the ball. Pogba will whiz the ball to the side, run, get Matic is the same. So he's not a footballer, and he's not very good defensively because he doesn't plug gaps very well. What McTominay is good at, he is very super athletic, and he can win his duels apart from really tricky players. But come on, like if a tricky player does you, he does you, innit? Fred, on the other hand, he has got some element of a football brain in terms of where to be. He can break the line sometimes, but Fred has the strength of my little sister, and he gets bypassed easily. I think he was the most dribble pass player in the Premier League last year, and he's probably up there again. So when you play them two, you don't actually get any protection from the back four. They just run a lot. And it doesn't matter if they run a lot because the ball moves quicker than anybody. So the first half an hour in the first Liverpool game, you saw what they'll do to us. Them men are all over the place. You know what I mean? So I don't think we can go with this mentality that, big games, we're going to play Fred and McTominay because, we want to transition. But if you have players who are scared to get the ball off our centre-back and good on the ball anyway, how can you transition from defence to attack? That's why it's so important to play Pogba. I don't mind Pogba playing out on the left because I think he gives United an extra element of control in the final third. But the problem is you can't have McTom and the other clown in DM. We have to play Matic and maybe one of them other idiots. So you can't. You're not going to get away with that. You and the other guy Seb who ran off as well. He knew it was
natural progression in the team. So what happens is our centre backs they're sitting too deep in big games, so we can't leave big open spaces in front of them. They're literally Maguire and Lindelof are literally camped out on the 18-yard box. Yeah, so you can't leave a big space. Now with Pogba, and the issue with Pogba is when he plays there, he does give it a bit of room, like not as much as McTominay and Fred. That's why we've seen McFred play. However, I think the team's natural progression is the centre-backs are going to have to come higher up, and that allows then Pogba. That's why when Bailly plays, you see Pogba is a completely different player. He's coming from deep, he's driving the team forward, and he's dictating games like he has done in recent weeks. And Ollie's seeing that, and I think that is the next progression in big games. You're going to see our centre-backs come further up the pitch, and that allows then Pogba to go further and drive forward, and you don't need a McFred then to sit and protect the centre-backs.
I feel like Ollie's got this proper love affair of that clown Lindelof. Like he proper love him.
They got something going on.
The thing with Lindelof is though,
it's a Nordic thing.
He's reliable though, on the whole. On the whole, he's more reliable than Maguire for me. Maguire
But we know Maguire's gonna play. That's the thing.
But the thing is, like, Ole hasn't got the balls to drop Maguire. It should be Lindelof and Bailly getting around the team. He ain't got the balls, so he's not gonna drop. He loves Lindelof, like you said. So unfortunately, Bailly pays the price.
But credit to Maguire though. I'm not a fan of Maguire, but I've got to say, in the last 6 weeks or so, the guy, I won't say he hasn't put a foot wrong because I've still seen some shaky things from him. But by and large, he's been a respectable defender. I can't even get at him, and he does give us something aerially, and his distribution when he has time is fairly good, although I can say the same of Bailly and Lindelof, to be honest. But just touching on that Pogba thing again, I think yesterday, there was a point early on in the first half. You touched on it slightly, which is why I think Oli is reluctant to put him in the double pivot against the big six, where he gets pressed and he gets pickpocketed in dangerous positions, and it happens in almost every single game, and he gives the ball away in a dangerous position. So I think he just needs to just be a bit more aware and just be quicker with releasing the ball like that.
Every centre mid happens. Every centre mid.
Everyone gets chased, man, because they come like a pack of wolves. They come like a pack of wolves.
Happened to Thiago 4 times. So why is it when it's Pogba and it happens to McTominay and Fred?
It's not Pogba's fault. It's the thing about
games, in training, at home with their kids. They lose the ball everywhere. Pressure or no pressure. Do you know what I mean? So I hear people like my problem with Pogba is that he's over reliant on the fact that he's 6'4" and he's stronger than people. Sometimes like, oh yeah, I know there's 3 man there, but I'm gonna put my arms out and not get the ball. No, you imbecile. They've identified you as a person that we can't, like, Wijnaldum will sit on him. We can't give him time. So it's annoying when he does that. So I understand that. But if we had other options, like if we had like Partey or we had Basama or other DMs that are, you know what I mean, there's that point and we can put Pogba further forward, I have no problem with that. But what you have clowns at the back, in the back of no, if Matic is playing there, I'm fine with it. If it was Matic and Fernandinho, I'm like, okay, Pogba, you go left mid. You have the creative freedom to kind of be the playmaker in the final third, and then we're going to have these two who are going to be good on the ball and defensively robust. I don't mind, but McTominay and Fred don't give you the defensive side. All they do is give you energy. But this ain't EDF, bro. Like we need footballers, fam. You can't do that. This is 1997, 1998. This is 2020, 21. Like there's good footballers here, and teams will maneuver you out of position. So. Like, yeah, man, I think in certain big games, like we're gonna have to play. We should play Pogba, especially. And when we play Pogba left, we're moving Rashford out right, which is annoying. But then when we're playing Pogba out right, then he's not as effective as he's playing on the left, because I like him in the left half space.
He likes to cut in. The thing is, as you say, we know it's a DM problem. The amount of times, because we know how good Liverpool's press was, but we were so insistent on starting the goal kicks with Henderson to Maguire and trying to build up at the back and knowing the pressure was coming, because we don't have patterns of play. Like that's how we want to play. And like if that was City will still play, but City know, okay, cool. If I go here, this man's gonna go here. How many times we do them moves where it's like boom, 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 bang. Even and they're out of it, innit?
Chelsea under Sarri. Jorginho come in, give it back to Kepa, give it to Rudiger, boom, and they're out of the press. We don't have those type of patterns. And then we have like man like what's his name? Fred and McTominay, they'll panic. Wan-Bissaka,
pure panic, pandemonium. When that man gets
only for the second goal. I don't know what my man was on. Man just played a through ball to the opposition.
I don't know how you did that. I don't know what that was shocking.
You know what's funny? Yeah, United fans are hilarious. We've proper gone on like a 20-minute moan, innit? You'd think we hadn't won like 2 games.
I know, but it's true, you know.
We're chasing excellence, innit? That's what you do when you're at the top, innit? You're chasing excellence. There's problems, obviously, with them while we're top of the league, but there's still things that we can iron out. And I think we all know the DM is a big problem. We need a ball-playing DM. And I think what your boy said this about if we got Partey, obviously I don't want to dream about another team's player, but my gosh, if you got a ball playing DM, that's what we need. That should be number 1 priority, getting a ball playing DM. And that will allow Pogba to push up, play in the 8 position more, maybe make Bruno from 10 to 8 and have a DM. Because that's what Matic should be. I don't know why we gave him a new contract, but don't play him. But anyway, I don't make the decisions in the board, innit? What?
He's a translator, that's why. He translates for Cavani. That's why. That's why he got the contract.
You see a lot with Pogba as well. Pogba, Matic, like, especially, like, they just... Yeah, Oli says something to Cavani. Cavani's like, what's this guy talking about? Pogba, like, oh, yeah. He said, yeah, just keep running it. Keep running it.
Well, Pogba speaks Spanish as well.
Yeah. Now, Pogba and Matic, they're boys, though, innit? Weren't they comparing each other's drip recently?
Yeah.
Trust. Agent Matic, fam. Looking, what did they say? Looks like the guy from, was it Power or whatever?
That's funny. Someone needs to talk about Pogba's haircut, though. That was the worst thing on the pitch yesterday.
Hey, when I was scared for the performance.
That was horrific, man.
Lucky when Sky Sports were reporting on that. Soonest would have had a flip, fam. Lucky it was BBC, fam.
Facts.
Man like Ian Wright on his side. But talking about Pogba, we talked about him a lot. Let's move on to the next section of the pod. Let's talk about we're at the halfway season of we're at the halfway point of the season, I should say. 18 games played. We've made progression in the FA Cup, have been knocked out of the Champions League and the League Cup.
Doctor, I'm not gonna lie, I have to address you. Half of 38 is not 18.
Half of 38 is not 18. Oh, it's 19. We're close enough, innit? Blame Mariah. He set the agenda. But we're close enough anyway. We can do a little halfway review. Who's been your best player? I'm going to start with you, Stevie, as you're sharp on your numbers. Who's been your best player?
I wish I didn't come at you there because I hadn't thought of it.
You got to be. You're not ready. You're too.
I wasn't ready. My best player. Oh, I think Bruno is undeniable, and I love Bruno. And so, granted, Disu and Akib are here. I know they're probably going to pick Rashford. So for variety, I'm going to go for Bruno. The guy, I know we're talking about this season, but since January, like the guy has been on absolute smoke for us. You can talk about his performances sometimes when he doesn't get a goal or assist, but I would struggle to find a more transformative signing for Man United in the last, I don't know, decade or so. The guy has been so instrumental to a lot of the good things we've done this season and in the whole of 2020 as well. And I think just his mentality alone brings a lot to us. But you add to that the goals and assists that he provides. Those numbers, like I don't think you've seen them from a midfielder since Frank Lampard. So yeah, he can be frustrating, and yeah, his pass completion is ridiculously low, but his goals and assists are ridiculously high, and ultimately that's what counts in football. So yeah, man.
Hey, you're right, Stevie. You are bum. We're on 19 games. Why are you trying to correct, man? We're on 19 games. Check the table, my guy. Check the table. I'm gonna give wrong. Let me check the table.
Nah, you said we're at the halfway point, innit? I'm just saying half of 38 is 19, innit?
Yeah, we played 19 games. See silence.
You know when you're trying to be too smart for your own good.
Yeah, you got caught out there. But obviously he's going Bruno Fernandes, so maybe that shows that his brain isn't in the right place. But let's see. Let's check in with Disu. Disu, obviously, who's your best player this season so far?
Yeah, I think it's Rashford. Pretty clearly. Bruno has been, I think, our second best player just by pure virtue of the production. And there was like a 5-game spell where he actually looked like a footballer and was getting the numbers. But then the rest of them, he's just looked like an imbecile, but getting numbers. But Rashford has been excellent. And the reason why he, along with Bruno, have been putting this team's attack on their back, because Martial has been nothing short of an absolute disgrace. Martial's picked an opportune time to have the worst spell of his career, which is really, really frustrating. And obviously Greenwood hasn't been firing, and obviously he's had his own issues off the pitch, was on the pitch. So I think Rashford, he's really improved. Like we've seen his playmaking come out more, he's passing, and now he's playing for real swagger. I'm not saying he's anywhere near like this player, but this is my favorite player almost ever. But the way that Neymar plays, where Neymar's just walking around the pitch, confident, stands a man up, will take him on, just accelerates and decelerates whenever he wants to, like trying all types of tricks and trying to manipulate space. Like Rashford's playing that type of confidence right now. He looks like a real world class footballer. So he's got. I think he's 2 and 3 in terms of goals for games, or close, or at least 1 and 2. He's got quite a lot of assists, and obviously he's done his thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Rashford.
So that's 1 point for Rashford, 1 for Bruno. Aka, where are you leading to?
I can't be agreeing with this, so I've got to go with Bruno. Just for the trend to continue. No, Bruno has been phenomenal. I remember when Bruno was at Sporting Lisbon, and I looked at his record. He had about 55 goals and assists in about 60 games or 56 games. And I thought to myself, there's no way he's going to come to England and do that. And let's say he does, we're going to be in the title race. And lo and behold, here we are a year later. His numbers are phenomenal. He's got 45 goals and assists in 51 games. He is just inevitable. I put a tweet out last night. Yes, he's frustrating. Yes, he's hard to watch with his pass completion at 42% or whatever it is. He does a lot of stupid things in games, but ultimately he decides games. And I do hear this. I've loved Rash's play this year. Rash has become like such a mature player, and he now believes the hype. Rashford, you can see it. He's moving like Ronaldo in 2006 when he came back from the Euros and he just lit it up. But for me, Bruno is ultimately deciding games. and he is the driving force. His mentality, we mock his passing and we mock his style of play, but you can't mock his mentality. He is driving that team. He has numerous times over the course of the last year and this season told his teammates when they quite frankly haven't been good enough. Now that is ironic because he can't complete a pass himself.
I was going to say, there's no way on this earth Bruno can ever pass me. That is impossible.
You think he talks to himself in the mirror?
Of all the players on the pitch, if Bruno came to, I think I'll lose it. There's no way.
The thing is, though, you can't lose it because they were. If you look at us last January, I think it's almost a year to the day. We lost to Burnley. I told you that was the game when I was about to retire from football, and when a lot of these players should have retired from football. But then this guy's come in. He's dragged us single-handedly up the table into top 4. Now he's taken us to the top of the table.
We're not going to do the division history. He did not drag us single-handedly up to top 4 because when Bruno first came in, Bruno wasn't really doing shit. We got a couple of draws here. We smacked up a couple of dead teams. I think we smacked up Derby and that random team in the Europa League. And we got a good win against City and Chelsea where Bruno, I think he got an assist in those games. But literally,
exactly. So come on, man. He's got assist in the big games.
Because remember, we're still far off. And then what happened was we had a global pandemic, and then our best player came back. Arguably, our second best player came back from injury, and then we stopped playing Daniel James and played Mason Greenwood. So all three of those, with the inclusion of Bruno,
I disagree though. I disagree because I tell you why. He came in, we drew to Wolves, and you can see there was issues in the team. Then we started playing a bit better. We got a couple of results. I remember we went to Goodison, and he scored all right. Pickford made a fault, but he got a goal, and you could see things were happening in this team. The team's morale had been lifted just by the signing.
We drew everything.
That's what happened. And then Pogba was throwing his toys out of the pram. He's seen Bruno come in and light up, and he's like, yeah, I want to get back at it as well. And then Rashford came back as well, and they were all firing. I agree.
He was injured.
But you can see Pogba's heart at the start of the year wasn't really in it, and he was sort of dilly-dallying, and his agent was coming out, and we thought that was it for Pogba. I thought Pogba was going to go this last summer.
We're not doing this. When we beat Chelsea 4-0 and Pogba got 2 assists.
That was the first day of the season. Then how many games did he play after that? I know, granted, he was injured. I don't want to turn this into Pogba Bruno because it's not. But
no, I'm saying what we're saying is incorrect because he literally played like 3 games. He played against Palace when we lost, Wolves.
Yeah, he played 4 or 5 games. I think from September onwards he didn't play. He didn't play after September. We didn't see Pogba because he was injured. The team was in the gutter when Bruno came. We got a couple of decent results against a couple of decent teams. We then beat City. That was the moment where we thought, you know what, we could go on a run here and get top 4. Okay, then granted, lockdown came, but Bruno got the goals and the assists. The team did better, you're right. Things happened, but Bruno was the catalyst for that. Even this season, Bruno's got the most goals and assists. You can't look past it. He is the catalyst.
Yeah,
he's inevitable.
I'm not allowing you to cap on last season because that's not true. This season,
we are talking about the halfway point of the season, so let's focus on this season. So, are all your results on all your selections based on this season?
Yeah, Bruno did season, yeah, still.
Okay. What about you? Who's yours?
Is either I put Bruno / Pogba down on my sheet, but I think Bruno's definitely been more decisive. And if we take out his goals and assists, the Pogba last 6 weeks, to be fair, so it's not really the whole season.
Longer than 6 weeks. I think Pogba's third.
Yeah. It's Bruno, Rash, and then Pogba.
No, I think Luke Shaw's been good as well.
No, I think I would say.
Luke Shaw or Pogba?
What impact does Luke Shaw have on football games?
He's playing well though. Luke Shaw was
playing well. That's fantastic.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying Luke Shaw's an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Honourable mention. Yeah, I'll say that. Top 3: Bruno, Rashford, Paul Pogba. Honourable mention: Lucas Shaw. Let's do it like that. It's sad that Martial's not part of that conversation. I'm seeing a lot of comments here.
Right, are we getting on to the worst player this season? Because he's definitely part of that.
We weren't meant to, but let's go there, Steve. You want to talk on it? Speak your mind.
There's a few contenders in there because this is a tasty conversation. Maguire was up there and would have been number 1 if it weren't for, I guess, the whole of January, a bit of December as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka this season has been shaky, so shaky. Champions League performances against the top 6. He's just been sleeping. But maybe not the worst player, but just due to his lack of impact for the entire season and how far he's regressed from where he came last season. Like Anthony Martial, man, what's happening, man? Like the whole of the United fan base has put so much stocks into this guy, yeah, and the guy's not giving us any returns at all this season. Nothing. He's given us nothing. Cavani's got more league goals than him. I don't know what's happening.
I think
It's
Pogba's got
scary.
more league goals than I think Bearman got more league goals than him. Like, it's just embarrassing.
He's got 2,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, 2
But
league
if I got
goals.
Ronaldo, I'd get more.
Yeah, he's got to say.
I don't know about that, Akib, but
I'll sneak a few in, man. I'm telling you. On the corners, I can hit the target better than Harry Maguire.
Jeez, that's Aka said he's got the heading ability.
Promise me.
Nah,
you said Bruno's on the worst player list too. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Nah, Bruno, he can't be on both lists.
He can't do it.
I'll give you on both lists.
Well, he's played against us. He's literally like a worst outfield player in 9 out of 10 games. But then he'll just do the mad thing. He'll just score a dirty finish and then do like a lovely kick through ball or good cross or something. But like
He's the mentality. He doesn't let it affect him. That's the thing, because he was thinking against Liverpool. His mentality is on 100.
That's I think Bruno mentality is so. I think that's spot on. I think that's his outside of his shooting technique, because his shooting technique is just top. That's his second best attribute, because his production with his talent, he shouldn't get that production because he's not the most out of all. Like he's not better than Mata technically. No, you can't track to Mata or Van de Beek technically, but his mentality, his determination, and also his off-ball movement is so good. Like getting into spaces, running off players. You don't score goals and assists like that now. Now he's not doing the penalty thing too much. He's actually getting an open play. You don't get goals and assists like that by accident more often than not. Do you know what I mean? But
you gotta be. He's not by chance.
That's if he can keep this. If he can keep this up, then yeah. But if he can't keep this up, then we're gonna have problems because that guy is playing against us every week.
He's shown his talent. He's shown that he can do it consistently. The 12 months he's been here, so long may that continue. But just focusing back on this season now, the 2020 and 21 season, what has been your best moment? And I'm going to start with you, Aka. What's been your best moment? What moment do you look back on? You're like, rah, that was a real good time to be a United fan.
I enjoyed the Leeds 5-2. Obviously, Leeds is a big rival. They hadn't
6 or 5. But go on. Let me not.
Sorry, my apologies. 6-2. Yeah. Leeds is a big rival. We hadn't played them in the league in God knows how many years. They came up. They were playing this Bielsa ball. You know, people were worried about. You know, we're going to get outclassed on our home turf. We had a patchy home record as well. People were worried, and we just blew them out of the water in the first half. To be 4-0 up after 30 minutes. I live not too far from Leeds, so I know a lot of Leeds United fans, and I just love their faces when 40 minutes in they were 4-0 down. So that for me was a moment, and that's I think when we started believing that this team might just go on to do a madness, because before that it was just really Timmy and Chris Waddle that were shouting about United in the league. And I remember the first time I heard Timmy say that, I thought, what is he on about? But then I think after that game, you thought things are going in the right direction. You know, this is more than just an upturn in form. We're actually getting a run together, and now we're putting away a very good football inside. Albeit, yes, very
scoring goals. You know.
Yeah, so that was one, and a McTominay double. I love that. You know, me and Seb, Team McTominay out here. I love that double. Record-breaking Disu. I'll just remind you, only player to score 2 goals in the opening 3 minutes.
He's got a lot. I don't think he's going to break that record in his career. Definitely. I think those goals surprised him, but they were very well taken. You got to say.
I'm just reading. I think he scored as many goals as Martial in 2 minutes than Martial has all season. 3 minutes was it? Scary.
But that was a good win. That was a very good win against a rival that we've not played in a little while. 6-2 win at home at OT. I think that's one of the few games during that period that we had actually won at home, because we've been very good away, but at home, not so much. Stevie, what was your best moment of the season so far?
Yeah, I think I would have gone with what Akib said, but again, for variety, I just really enjoyed the PSG win from a personal perspective. I hate them as a football inside, to be honest. I hate their guts, and it was just one of those games where we didn't think we stood a huge chance after the draw, and turns out we didn't stand much of a chance in the end. But that match, I just thought us going up against the supposedly top European side, and then seeing Rashford come up with the trumps yet again in another big European game, it was a pleasure to behold, and it was a great goal from Rashford as well. And when the boy wonder comes good, like, it's just good good all round feeling. So yeah, man, that's probably it for me. I think this Liverpool game though was probably didn't bring the same amount of joy, but it's good to see us go up against the top team and actually get the 3 points in England, because we've been struggling with draws and losses. So that's also a bit of a highlight.
Calm, I hear that. That was a big win against PSG. You're right, man. And Axel Zabi, that game, I remember we were all saying he's our best centre back, but then we've not seen much of him. We've not seen much of him since that game. So who knows what's going on, man? Who knows what's going on? But this, last but not least, what was your best moment so far this season?
When it comes to best moments, I tend to like to look at the bigger games, but we've sucked in the big games, and the two decent ones. One of the two ones we've done is that Leipzig, the 5-0 when Rashford was putting certain man in a blender that they wanted to sign up, centre back called up and coming or something like that. We got time for that, and also the PSG win, but we ended up getting bounced out anyway, so you can't even pick them things there. So I think I'm gonna go for Burnley, Pogba's winner, or was it winner? But whenever he scored,
1-0, yeah.
I think that was what took us top of the league, right?
Yeah.
That. Especially because I was talking a lot of smack to Liverpool fans. I was like, listen, boy, don't slip against Southampton, because by the time you next play, you might not be top. And obviously, we're having that game, Burnley were being very annoying. And then it just kind of came up nowhere. Like Rashford picked Pogba out and he volleyed it and it went in. So that's probably the most I celebrated this season, outside maybe Rash's Greenwood's goal the other day. So, but that's FA Cup, nobody cares about that. So yeah. But I think the boys' picks were also other great games as well, like Leeds. But Tommy's first goal, I couldn't have believed it. The outside
the second one was better.
What the control and finish to the left?
Yeah, the way he rolled it over, rolled his left foot over and buried it.
And I think the fact that McTominay was like, it's on in terms of the title, I almost forgot that I despised him as a footballer and a human.
For a split second, it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember that I hated him, so I was like,
nah, he came up good. Obviously, he used to be a striker in his youth days, and he showed that technique there, isn't it? With those What would you say?
I said Michael with the knowledge. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, you got to study before you come and start hosting this. You got to do a little studying. But yeah, he was, man. He was. I think it was about 15 when he got shifted to play his current position, which he should be more comfortable on the ball considering he used to be a striker. But hey,
he's about to be released.
It was actually even worse.
And then he had this massive growth spurt where he gained about like 7 inches in a year, and they kept him. And that's ironic because we say that he plays because of his height and his athleticism and his physicality. So if you take that away from his game and he's rolling around about 5'8", he wouldn't be at the club.
True. If he's less than 6 foot, he wouldn't be at the club probably, isn't it?
Right, I can hit back with even more knowledge there.
Yeah. I didn't read that far back. He really read back. But let's look. Obviously, we're all jovial now. But let's look back at probably one of the worst moments this season. Obviously, it's been a few. Obviously, we've been knocked out in the semi-final of the League Cup. We've been knocked out at the Champions League at the group stages, especially, which is very sour after winning the first 2 games. So, Disu, what would you say the worst moment as a United fan has been this season?
Well, at first I was going to say when we held a 6-piece to Mourinho, that was just utterly depressing. But the 1-0 defeat to Arsenal, I swear I quit football then. I quit football. They fucking suck. They are a terrible team. And Ollie just got out-coached. They just pressed us high and we couldn't do anything. We couldn't even pass. And the worst, I remember we played a diamond and we had Mason and Rashford up front. And every time Mason and Rashford got the ball, it looked like they could just hammer the centre backs. But because we couldn't play out from the back against a team with no speed, no creativity, no guile, no strength, we lost. And it's Arsenal. And I have all the Arsenal fans. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to see this Ollie guy. I hate all these youths. So that's definitely for me the lowest point of the season. Arsenal. When that, I was like, we're done out here. Like, we can't even beat Arsenal. Like, nah.
And that was made worse by the fact they won on that stinking run after beating us.
I know. And they're going to beat us again, by the way. So I hope everybody's prepared.
You think?
Yeah.
Don't do this, man. Don't do it.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, she's silly, bro. Look at that comment. But yeah. That's just
Well,
silly.
I think it's because I actually didn't watch that game against the Turkish team. That
I didn't watch it either because I thought automatic win. I don't even need to lock into this.
bro, I was out. I was doing. I came back. I'm seeing we're 2 down. I said,
Bruv, you should have seen. Demba Ba had the freedom of Istanbul to just take the ball, and he was just jogging with it. Then slowed it past our keeper. You couldn't believe it. It was worse than schoolboy defending. But anyway, I've spoken too much. Stevie, what was your worst moment? Was it that, or was it something else?
The Tottenham performance, that one hurt me. Arsenal's bad though from a personal perspective, because when you're a United fan in London, really your only rivals are Arsenal because there's no other fans within 100 miles from you. But that Tottenham one, from a footballing perspective, I just thought we cannot sink any lower as a club. Like your ex-manager come in to pack you in, and it's Mourinho as well. So smug. We weren't at the races. I think there was a Pogba mistake. There was a Bailly mistake. There was a Maguire mistake. There was a Shaw mistake. There was Martial getting sent off as well. Just from an organization and club perspective, for us to come out against the top 6 side and get absolutely annihilated like that, it was just disgraceful. And at halftime, you knew that it was just going to get worse. That was hard to watch, man. And so I stopped watching. Yeah, I didn't think it could get any worse after that. And credit to Ole, because after that he's stuck with the McFred combination, and really we've been on the up since then. So yeah, man, that was terrible. Humbling moment, but yeah, things have changed since then. So shout out Ole, because I thought his number was up after that game, and he's come back fighting.
He has come back fighting. And it takes a lot of resolve to lose like that. Like, I was thinking football is long, fam. I was like, what's golf saying? I was gonna pick up a whole new sport because I was like, I really, really can't. So the fact that we can sit here and say at the top it's just us, it's magical. But it's the season that is, and testament to Ollie for recovering from that. Aka, obviously we've heard about the Tottenham loss. We've talked about losing to Arsenal, the North London teams. What was the worst moment for you?
I was going to say Arsenal, but once again, I can't agree with this two. So I'm going to go with Leipzig when we got outplayed and crashed out of Europe. It was just depressing, man. That first 30 minutes, they just played us off the park, and they're a good team, and you could see they were well coached, and they had a great young manager, and we had the better players, but we were getting outplayed, we were getting outworked. There was the first 15 minutes we were clueless. I remember Wan-Bissaka, it just seemed like he didn't have a clue what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on. The third goal was a shambles. De Gea looking at Maguire looking at De Gea. It was meek. It was timid. It was just horrible. We did sort of redeem it with 2 goals and nearly nicked the draw to go through, but it was depressing because at that moment we were in a good moment and we thought we're progressing as a team, and it was just sort of typical United at post-Fergie. 1 step forward, 2 steps back out of Europe, and now we're going to have to go play Thursday night football in Channel 5, and it was just like, do we have to really go into that competition again? So just to be different, I'd say Leipzig was a real low point. But credit to the boys, since that game, they've pulled their finger out. And I think that was the day when he had Pogba on the bench and Pogba came on and Pogba wanted it. And he had the thing with the agent as well. And then since then, I have to hold my hands up. He has been the best player, not probably. He has been the best player since then. And you've seen, I read a quote, Bruno's a floor raiser, but Pogba's a ceiling raiser. And you're seeing that now. So if the season continues the way it's going, Pogba will be player of the year, and hopefully that coincides with the title, and then he can ride off into the sunset if he wants to, and I'd be happy.
I think you make a very good point, and also probably a testament to Ollie there, because it takes a lot of man management to sort of control that situation. You got a agent speaking out, mouthing off, saying your player's leaving, and then you know what? If it was someone like Mourinho, maybe he would have had a standoff. He had a few standoffs for Pogba. Maybe he would have had a standoff. But credit to Ollie for putting an arm around Pogba and bringing him into the team and not making him feel like an outcast. And somehow, some way, we're seeing the best of him. So, and as you say, long may that continue. As it's probably clear, my worst moment was losing away to Istanbul, that first goal. That's the reason we went out of the Champions League. Really, you don't. Everyone else beat Istanbul. You don't lose to Istanbul. You just Istanbul Beach Kebab. I don't know what did my guy say. I don't know. You don't lose to them. You don't lose to them. You don't lose to them. I don't know. You just don't lose to them. So very sad. And yeah, Thursday night football on BT Sport. It will be from next month. And just head on a more positive note, the last sort of midway point of the season sort of review. What has been your best sort of individual performance that you've sort of seen? So not necessarily the best player, but the best individual performance. Let's go to you, Disu.
Oh.
So one performance that you saw, you're like, rah, like this guy is playing like he's levels right now. He's on fire, untouchable. Whether he's clearing every header, whether he's licking every shot, is touching the back of the net.
Rashford has had a few of those. So obviously, on the weekend, he was causing those two light-skinned dancers big problems. And then obviously, when he came on against Leipzig, he was just making people diddy bop. So one of those Rashford performances, I'll say Pogba against, it was one of the Pogba centre mid performances. I think it was Burnley. Yeah. Burnley, yeah, he was unreal. And there was one, what Bruno game was it? And I was like, rah, Bruno's paying out. I think it was West Brom. West Brom, we only got 1-0, but Bruno literally like put it on a plate for 4 people. Like literally on a plate, and they all missed. So I'll say those 3. So I'll say Rashford against Liverpool, Pogba against Burnley, and Bruno against West Brom. Off the top of my head, those are 3 performances. Where I was like so individual quality. I always go for like your individual quality is just out of this world. So Bruno's individual quality to create 4 like big chances in the game is just unheard of. Pogba literally ran the game and he just put the team on his back in terms of carrying the team forward. And obviously Rashford, he just was a one-man attack, terrorized Liverpool. So those are the ones that I can say. I can't really decide between any of them.
I don't know if you left any for Aka and Stevie, but that's the challenge they have now. So Aka, first to you. Obviously, this you had 3 there, but do you have any more performances that sort of stick out for you?
I was going to go with Pogba Burnley because that day, like, I thought the team wasn't playing great, but Pogba was levels and he was driving the team forward, and then he capped it off with that goal as well. That is, for me, the outstanding performance. But because this has said it, I'll go with... I'm going to go with a left field choice. I thought Luke Shaw last Sunday at Anfield. I thought it was a very, very matured performance. He locked off Salah, and you could, I said it last week on the pod. When Salah got the ball after the 60th minute, you just knew nothing was going to happen because Luke Shaw has got this locked off.
He was scared to take on Luke Shaw.
You just knew like it was done. 60 minutes in, you knew it was done. And this is Mohamed Salah. Like he's one of the, if not the, he might be the greatest winger in Premier League history. The way it's going, and he was just locked off by Luke Shaw.
What position did CR7 play?
Hey, lock the stream off. Cut the camera.
Yeah. What position did CR7 play? I need to check. He's playing against I need to check. What position? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. What position did he play?
No, Salah's up there. Though. He's productive.
My point is, this guy's phenomenal. He's been one of the best Premier League wingers, and he was locked off by little old, fatty Luke Shaw, who locked him off, and he should have got an assist as well that day if Bruno had put the ball in the back of the net. Shaw was driving the attacks. He wasn't letting anyone in behind him. He wasn't losing his duels. I thought it was everyone came out of that game and they said, yeah, it was a boring game, but everyone did say Luke Shaw, man of the match, and he did his thing. He bossed it.
He definitely did boss it, and yeah, to lock a man up as good as Salah, and as you say, to offer something the other end is a phenomenal performance. And we usually talk about Liverpool's fullbacks, but that day we were talking about Lucas Shaw, so big him up. And Stevie, last but not least, what's been your performance of the season? Something that's really made you sort of sit there and take account.
These lot have literally left me with nothing. I was going to go with the Shaw one, and then Aka stole that one from me.
McTominay leads.
I can't be. T, I might have to go with. This is poor, but yeah, I guess we haven't had that many amazing performances. Axel against PSG.
That was good.
I thought he padlocked their forward line.
You just stole that from the comments.
No, I was genuine.
London Hookage hooked him up.
London Hokage, mad thing. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength, innit? But he was good in that game, and I just think it's surprising that he hasn't played more since then. Bayou's been really good when he's come back into the team as well. He seems to be like one of those defenders that almost transforms our defense when he plays and allows our midfield to go and do their thing with less defensive responsibility. So, yeah, man, we've had some good performers this season. Hopefully, the second half of the season, we'll see something from Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Martial, and that might actually carry us through to April, May, still in the running.
Why do you think he's not played so much? What, like, obviously that was a great performance. We're all lauding him. We're all saying we're bigging him up. Axel saying he's back finally with his injury problems, and then you hardly see him. Well, why do you think so, Stevie? What do you guess?
I genuinely don't know, but I think every United fan knows that Solskjaer's preferred pairing is Maguire and Lindelof. For some reason, I don't get it, but there must be something he sees that we're not, because I'd have Bailly in the team for his athleticism all day long. And if not him, I feel like Tuanzebe should have got more of a chance in like even FA Cup games or League Cup games. But even when we've seen him, he's been playing a position. So maybe in the Europa League, he'll get a run and that might see his United career kickstart again.
Hopefully so, man. Hopefully so, because obviously one of the positions we've identified is centre back. So could we save some money? Could we put all the money into, a DM, a ball playing DM, which we clearly need? Because we got Ahmad coming in on the right wing, so we'll hopefully see him soon. So the right wing should be sorted. So it's now the DM position. We were talking about left back, but now Luke Shaw's playing well, so we don't need to worry about that. So if we can sort out the centre backs within the current squad, and we just put all our finances into getting a world-class defensive midfielder, then it looks like we have a decent team. And that leads us quite nicely on to a few of our listeners' questions. Thank you, listeners, for submitting questions via Twitter. One of the first questions, and we kind of alluded to it during the chat, obviously Anthony Martial is woefully underperforming. So what does that leave for the future of our centre-forward position?
Bro, go out
open to the floor.
Go out and buy a number 9 immediately. I've defended Martial for so many years, and last year he almost had me. He almost had me thinking he could be a number 9, but this season has confirmed it for me, just because of when Cavani plays, and I see the threat Cavani poses inside the box with his running, with his pressing, and just him being a nuisance. For that alone, I can see that Martial's not the type of person we need up front to lead the line, because I don't think he does enough, even when he is in form, to do that. And he's shown that he's too inconsistent now to rely on him. So at worst, I would go and chase maybe Danny Ings and see if he can come up to this level, and then perhaps him and Martial could do rotation. But whilst Haaland is there and still extremely young, I think we should put all our finances and all our efforts into trying to snap him up, because he's one of them generational strikers that don't come about too often, and we can't be relying on Martial to do the job.
So you're saying Martial out end of the season, yeah, Stevie?
Oh, I think 36 million for him. Let's get our money back and move on from.
Right, okay. Martial out. Aka, you with that? You think Martial time at the club's done?
As a number 9, yeah, I would still keep him for the left wing. I think off the left wing, I still like him off the left wing. He's an exceptional dribbler, and he does that. He can get goals. I know he hasn't been getting goals this year, but he can get plenty of goals off the left wing. But for number 9 at Man United, he's just not good enough. That is not what 2 goals is not what a number 9 does at Manchester United, and it's painful because I think a lot of United fans wanted it to work out for him at number 9. And last year, he showed us a little glimpse towards the back end of the season and with his numbers last season to say that maybe he'll kick on. But he's 26 this year, I think. He's not going to do it. Yeah, he's 26 this year.
Yeah, 26 in December. He just turned 25.
He's not like Rashford. He's not like Greenwood.
You're having a laugh.
I always say you have to judge the player at 25. I've got onto Rashford in the past, but I've always said as a caveat, I'll judge him at 25. Rashford's 23. Rashford's going to be exceptional at 25. He's going to be world class. Mason Greenwood's going to be world class in 6 years' time at 25. Anthony Martial is, he's dilly-dallying. He's hot 1 week, cold the next week. He's hot 1 month and cold for 6 months. So I think his time as number 9 is up. I would like to see him on the left, but then again, that hampers Rashford, because Rashford's a different animal off the left. Plus, with Martial, you have to look at his wages. He's on astronomical wages. So if we can get him off and get a good offer, I wouldn't just sell him to make money back. If we can get a really good offer, I'd sell him. But the question is, who's going to buy him? Who's going to pay them wages and that fee for a guy who might not score for 4 months?
That's the scary question. So right now, are we saying that it's just Edison Cavani up top, or we're seeing comments? A1 is saying,
hold on. What's going on here? Like, what? Okay, Martial this season, by all accounts, he's been dreadful. Like, we can't deny that. I'm not going to defend him. I'm a Martial fan, but this season you can't defend 2 goals. It's disgusting. The long and short of it, it's just disgusting. And in fact, he's missed chances that he never misses. Like we've had him for 4 years before. And one thing even if you like Martial, you didn't like Martial, you knew that he was a clinical finisher. But all the people sell him for what? Like, do you people just think that quality players grow on trees? Because we should know by now they don't. Because we spent probably almost $1 billion since Ferguson's left, and 90% of the transfers absolutely suck. So I don't see why you'll sell a player like Martial, who can play across the front line. He's having a terrible season, but I still back him to eventually bounce back and actually start being good. If you look at Martial's numbers and Rashford's numbers, they are exactly the same. Like, they've played almost exactly the same amount of games. They've got exactly the same amount of goals, the same amount of assists. Martial's having a terrible run now, but I would back him to get better. I do agree with Stevie and Act that we can't be in terms of strikers. We can't be relying on you if you're not going to be hitting every single year. Like, you can't have an off year as a striker. Like, with a wide player, it can happen in it. But I do think that Martial could be good as a secondary or third scorer. And I think he can play off the right or off the left. Doesn't matter because he's a talented player. But I would definitely look to get a striker. But I won't sell Martial. Why would he sell somebody who's 25, not even in a prime yet, has been getting better on the Ollie, but he's hit a really, really, really... And this is his first proper rough patch for Man United ever. Like, he hasn't had the same patch. Remember Rashford had a year and a half under Jose when Rashford was dreadful. Yeah. This is Martial's... Martial wasn't dreadful under Jose. Martial kept Jose in the job. So this is Martial's first dreadful patch. Obviously, he's come at a bigger age. So I don't think... I wouldn't sell him. It doesn't make sense. You don't just sell quality players. That's silly to me. We're not talking about Fred here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about Martial. So I'll keep Martial, but I'll definitely bring in players. Like, if Ings was cheap, because he's the last thing he's deal, yeah, I'll grab Ings, but I'm not the biggest Ings fan, so I want a proper, bona fide hitter. You know what I mean? Haaland obviously will be the dream. Like, if we can get Haaland, that would be a dream. But again, if we get Haaland, we've got to play to Haaland's strengths. Haaland's a proper traditional number 9. We don't play to traditional number 9 strengths because Cavani, not like that's Cavani eating, is it? Like, our fullbacks can't cross. We don't cross in general. Our midfielders outside Pogba and Bruno take too long to do anything. That's why Rashford was 25 times offside at Anfield because it's too long to pass.
Too many times offside.
Yeah,
but do you think the Cavani signing's a good signing then? Obviously, Martial's gone off the boil. Imagine if we didn't have Cavani, we'll be relying on
I don't think Cavani's even doing much. Like, I don't think Cavani's been dreadful.
Nah. The group chat as well, man. I don't know what this Cavani is.
They're crazy. But this Cavani
is actually running around. That's what he's doing.
Come on, that's 10 times more than what Martial's doing.
Yeah, literally because he's managed to score more goals, and that's how bad Martial's been.
Was Cavani a good signing? Come on, good. Forget running around everything. Was it a good or a bad signing coming in on a free?
Now you're changing the question to get the answer that you want.
What?
You can't do that to me. I can try. Yeah, but I don't think he's been good. There's two different things. But
I think he was a good signing that's done okay.
But to be fair, he was really, really good against
Southampton.
No, Fulham.
That's yeah, he sniffed that goal out. That was food and drink to him. Now the proper striker's finished.
Not even a goal, just his hunger. He's getting these little one touch outside right but flicks around the corner that have been really good. And his movement is just like, oh my god, unbelievable. And comparing it to Martial, it's like, wow, this is like 1 minute eating, I don't know, corned beef stew, and next minute eating like fucking sushi. Like, it's just completely different levels. So.
Stew and sushi might be on. Well, I don't know. What are you rating, Laura?
I'm not doing this if you just gone in. So
elite dish. No, but what I was gonna say about Cavani is, the reason I think he's been a good signing is he's not been amazing in terms of his impact in games. But if I look at, I'm tempted to say all of his goals. I feel like if he's not in the team, none of our other players get those goals. And so that's why I think he's been an important signing, because he's just given us a dimension that previously we didn't have.
He's a sniffer, man. He sniffs goals out, man. He's a predator. Like those goals against Southampton.
Goals, especially the first one, insane.
Yeah.
Proper sniffer. So yeah, no, it's good to have an alternative up top. But to move from Cavani to sort of considering Oli now, we've got a few listeners' questions about our esteemed manager. So one question, this guy must have really went to Wikipedia here. He said Connor, United CM98, having beaten the likes of Pep, Klopp, Jose, Poch, Nagelsmann, Bielsa, was it Touche, or I don't know, Tuchel, I don't know how to say that guy's name, Ancelotti, Hayden Huttel during his tenure, and now has us sitting at the top of the league after beating the best team during 2020. We can't really have chat for him to leave, can we? This is coming from an ex-Oli outer. What do you think about that? Can we still say Oli out, or considering the lines of managers he's beaten?
Yeah, I think with Ole, like, I think his deal expires at the end of next season. And like I said before on this podcast many times, I want to see us finally, post-Fergie, let someone see their contract out and finish their project. So like we said, in the summer, we're going to go out for a CDM, hopefully, maybe another centre-back, and maybe a right winger or a backup right-back. I want to see what the finished article is this time next year. This time next year, we'll see whether this is a flash in the pan or whether for me, we are moving in the right direction. It might not seem like that at times, but we quite clearly are moving in the right direction. We're doing things that we haven't done since Fergie was there, i.e. top of the table, i.e. these winning runs, i.e. the most points in the calendar year. We are improving, so I would love to see him finish. I think he has to finish his deal off now. I mean, how can you sack him at the end of the year? He's going to get top 4. That's going to be the first time we've got top 4 back-to-back since Fergie left. So that is progression. He's now made us once again, hopefully, a established top 4 club that wants to have their eye on the title. So I want to see the deal finish. And Ole's the type of guy, like, he will wait till the last minute, and he won't just like go off elsewhere. Like, he loves Man United. Everything he does is for United. So he'll wait. He'll be happy to just see out the final of his contract and see where we are come next year.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think there's a question mark around whether he is the man to actually lead us to trophies, and as we saw with Poch previously, there's a difference between competing and then actually going over the hurdle and actually collecting that silverware. But if we look where we were when Mourinho left, I've got to give a lot of praise to Solskjaer, and to be fair, I've got to give some praise to the United board as well for holding steady with the trigger and not being too trigger happy, as many United fans would have sacked him a while ago. And obviously you've seen Lampard go out today with the sack as well. I think he's improved some of the players, some of the young players at the club. He's brought in some decent signings as well. I think he's made the club a bit more sustainable as well. If you look at what we've got now for the future, it looks like we've got a decent pipeline in the youth team as well, and just generally what he's done all round with the coaching setup and the analytics team and so on and so forth. I think we've got a lot to thank Oli for, but whether he can actually lead us to titles, I think jury's out on that. But I'd definitely like to see him see out the rest of his contract. Hopefully next season with a couple more signings, we should be able to have a proper title race, if not this season.
So two for Oli Intet.
We've lost you, Michael. But I'm guessing you're going to ask Dissy.
I'm asking Dissy. My bad.
Oh, you're asking me if I'm Oli in or Oli out?
Yeah. What are you saying with that?
Why? I said what I said. Like, I don't think Oli's the guy, but I can't deny the results and productivity. And also, I can't remember one of the touchdown boys said that it can't be a coincidence that we've seen the best from Martial in the Man United shirt, the best of Pogba in the Man United shirt, the best of Rashford in the Man United shirt, the best football we've played, the closest we've come to a title challenge under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think that goes without saying. And I simply think it's because Oli has the best taste in players out of all the managers that we've had. Like, the best taste in players out of all the managers we have. And he's actually allowing our players to express themselves. Like, we don't see Rashford chasing fullbacks like we saw under Jose Mourinho. Rashford was out here moving like a marathon runner. Do you know what I mean? We don't, you know what I mean? We're seeing Pogba able to express himself. We're seeing Bruno given the freedom to go and press the goalkeeper if he wants to. And, like, do you know what I mean? He's brought in Mason Greenwood. Like, he's been offensive. So I can't slate him. I at the moment, all I could do is just really hope that he improves tactically. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully, Fletcher being involved. I don't know. Hopefully, Fletcher's got young tactics, because sometimes we just get outdone by other teams simply because the managers are just more tactically aware than Ollie, and they make better adjustments. So I don't believe in Ollie, and that's why I still can't believe in his title run, because I just don't see Ollie going to pick Klopp and Pep. I just can't think. I can't see it, but I just hope so, innit? So I can't say Ollie. So I have to give him these accolades. But is he going to be the guy that make United win titles? I just can't see it.
It's an
So you
interesting
don't
one.
think
Yeah.
he's the man to make United great again?
Okay, bro.
I was gonna say I
you don't
think it is an
Oh, go.
I was
No,
gonna
go,
say I
go,
think it's
go.
an interesting one, yeah, because like this decade you've seen the trend go towards like absolute tacticians of managers. You see like your Klopps, your Nagelsmann, your Sarri almost in his style, and we've kind of gone away from managers who are just kind of like man managers and vibes like Ancelotti, Mourinho, and so on and so forth. And I feel like there's something to be said, because obviously we've seen Lampard get sacked today, and I don't know if you lot have read about it, but they were saying he was really struggling to get his players on board. And I think one of Ollie's biggest strengths, which I think sometimes we play down how easy or how effective it is man management of like Generation Z players who clearly are like bare temperamental, and the guy's just got it absolutely spot on. So I've got to give him credit for
sorry
that.
to cut you before I forget. Look
Yeah,
at the
go on.
situation when he had Mina out here saying, "Yeah, basically my boy's off. Ollie, you're dusted. You think you can ever have Haaland? Nah, bro, you're shit. Haaland will never go to you. You don't know nothing about being a champion." Like, and people were literally calling for Pogba's head, and Ollie is just like, no. Ollie managed the situation so well, and to me, like, I just give him such respect as a man. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's so impressive, because it'll be so. I remember Ollie's under pressure for his job, bro. Like, man just got banned at the Champions League. Like, and I think he could have easily just deflected onto Pogba, like a lot of other cowardly managers, i.e., Frank Lampard. Like, we've seen these cowardly managers just when the pressure gets too hot, they start deflecting. Ollie's never done that. I can't remember Ollie ever drawing out the players. I can't remember.
Never.
He won't do it.
He always swallows it. He always swallows it.
Yeah, and for that, I give him so much respect for, because I hate people who draw out other people in public, especially what I think is disgusting. So big up Ollie. But sorry, continue, Stevie.
The thing with Stevie. The thing with Ollie is, like, if you go back to when Fergie was around, they used to ask Fergie, out of all your ex-players, who's likely to be a success as a manager, and he used to say it's Ollie, because Ollie used to look at the way Fergie managed people, how he handled players, and he said Ollie's always making notes and he's always learning. And it is underplayed sometimes, his man management. And I'd even dare I say, I think Ollie got the job because he was probably the most likely out of the ex-players on the interim basis to get the best out of Pogba. He had managed Pogba in the reserve team. He had a relationship with Pogba, a working relationship. And I feel that was the reason why he was appointed, because Pogba was the main man in the team and the team was struggling, and Pogba, had an issue with the previous manager. Ollie's come in and he's always, he stood by Pogba's side. He's never thrown any of his players under the bus. He's very clever. I don't know if you noticed, he's got a pattern. So when we play well, he'll come out and say something like, "Oh, the boys could have done better on this front." But when we play bad, that's when he actually supports the manager. And the players are watching in the dressing room, so they see the interview go out when they're in the dressing room after a bad result, and they see that Ollie takes the shots for him like Fergie used to do, and they back him. And even at his lowest and darkest moments as a Man United manager, and the leaks have come out from the club, the players have always said we do like Ollie and we are behind him, and they've never thrown him under the bus. Do you remember Roy Keane said, these guys will throw Ollie under the bus? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Roy, they haven't, because they like the manager and they've been there for the manager. So the players deserve some credit as well. And it's a two-way thing. They both like each other and they get along. So I think we have to give a lot of credit to Ollie for getting the best out of the players. And the players are most of them are at an age where they're maturing now. Pogba's 26, Martial's 25. They've now become men, whereas maybe 3-4 years ago they were boys. Not to say that they caused any issues with Mourinho, because Mourinho is toxic. And lastly, to finish off, for me, Ole always wants the best for United. If you said to Ole, take 9 shots in the chest, he'll take it if he means United are going to win the league. He'll do it. Ole will do it for United. Ole will literally hang himself just so United can get success. And I love that about Ole. And I love that about... That's why I feel I have to back the manager, because he is there for United. He wants United to be... His ultimate goal isn't for him to win leagues. It isn't for him to get his medals. Yes, that's a part. But he really wants to restore United to where they should be, at the top of the pile, and where they were when he was a player. And for that, I respect the man.
I like that. I think you make a very good point. He is United through and through, and that leads very well probably to the last question we're going to have. It comes from Mush, man from the Copen Frackers. It's actually a pretty good question. He says, do you feel Ollie has shown enough to be able to manage the other top clubs whenever his time at United ends?
I think jury's out on that one. Sometimes, like, you look at coaches like Zidane, and I'm like, if you went anywhere else, you would be an absolute shit show. And and Ole might be one of those guys. I think he had store credit in the bank at United because of what he's done, club legend and all of that. I think at another club like Chelsea, for instance, he would have gone long time ago. So I'd struggle to see where he would go, and I'd struggle to see how he'd get that much time. I think United have been very patient with him, and we've allowed him to do his thing behind the scenes and progress at a very slow but consistent rate. I don't know if any of the other top six would allow that. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure he actually has the qualities to do so either.
What about you other two? So Stevie's saying he's just Man United credit he's running on. Do you guys agree?
Agreed. But I think he's done enough to get himself like the step below. Maybe a young Leicester when Brendan Rodgers eventually goes to where he wants to go to, or Everton when they realise that what's his name? Ancelotti is just Vapianos and vibes. Once they there. You know what I mean?
That's an episode name right there, boy. You know what's funny? That just reminded me that I forgot Oli was in the Premiership. Who did he manage again?
Cardiff.
Cardiff.
That was an absolute shit show, innit?
Yeah. It was a pretty. He had to go back to what he do, Molde, innit? He had to go back to Norway, innit?
Get some league titles in.
So he had to get his confidence up. Well, Aka, you the same? You think it's just Man United credit, or you think that Ollie's got something about him that he could go and manage a top team in Europe?
It goes back to my original point. Like I said, Ole and United is a match made for each other. He's an ex-player. He did bits at the club. He's a legend at the club, and it works. Like I said, and he's managed some of the players before, and he's had a relationship. You can see, like, I've got no doubt Ole gets on the blower to Fergie when he's up Schitt's Creek. He picks the phone up and he says, Dad, come help me out. What's going on here? And Fergie's giving his little, pearls of wisdom to him. Whereas I think if he's at another club, it just wouldn't fit the same. It is like he's gone back to basics. And like we said, we're living in a time where it's tactics and overcomplicating football. But he's literally just gone back to basics, restored the good feel-good factor at the club, the club's DNA, how he touches upon again and again. He's just restored that, and I think that could only be done at United. Like if he went to Chelsea or another big club and he tried to restore the Chelsea DNA, what is that? Getting sacked. So I think he's only made for United, and he, like Dishu said, he could probably land a Aston Villa job, an Everton job, maybe a Newcastle or a West Ham. That's probably his level after United, but it's working, so long may it continue for United.
Timmy, I'm not going to argue with you on this one. Yeah, I know you're the all-seeking, all-knowing, so I know he had 6 months to turn it around. I was saying it was just a shit show from both parties. But just on this Ole stuff, do you lot think that if Fergie was still at the wheel, like he would have coped in this new Pep Klopp era? Like, how do you think he would have fared?
100%. I hate that question because I'll tell you why. Because if Ole wins the league, if Ole wins the league this year, he's just packed away Pep and Klopp. And then man are chatting to me saying that Pep and Klopp are going to chat to Fergie. Come on, man. If Son is doing a better job, then never mind bringing Fergie into this. If Ole wins the league this year, that debate is done. It's embarrassing that Pep and Klopp have spent 600 million or whatever and then lose the title to Ole, and you're going to sit here and ask me if they would have beaten Fergie, man. Come on, man.
I could already think
Aka's not having any of it.
That question, I hate it because Ole's chatting to these men, and they're saying, "Oh, do you think Fergie would have done better?" Of course he would have. He would have Pep would have been running out of the country. He ran out of Spain because of Mourinho. He would have been running away from England because of Fergie.
Boy, That would have been Fergie sort of everyone in his career in it, and I think that would have just been another person just to tick off. He even saw off Mourinho in it, and when Mourinho came, everyone's thinking, "Oh, this new guy from Portugal, he's the special one. Can anyone defeat him?" When Damien Duff and Robin and Drogba were all there doing a Mazine, they were getting 95 points. Lampard scoring from midfield, and then Fergie came and done a three-peat in it. So never underestimate the great man, Sir Alex Ferguson. And that I think we'll just wrap it up there, man. We've been here. This has been another episode of MUGA. So thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Aka. Thank you, Disu, for sort of coming on, getting involved. And thank you guys for everyone tuning in live. Obviously, we do have this function. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And hopefully it's going to be another week of making United great again. So everyone, peace out, everyone. Take care, people.
Peace.
Peace.